We wanted to get something to remember Sadie. Our time with her was so brief.
We wanted to keep a picture of her in our home. Sadie survived for, I think it was a little over 3 hours.
There were 15 doctors around, so there wasn't really time to have a picture taken of her.
She had a huge impact on us in her short lifespan, but it was too short. At 26 and a half weeks, I wasn't feeling the baby move.
There was a tumor attached to our baby that was literally the size of the fetus.
That ultimately was what was causing me to go into preterm labor.
So one of the first decisions was putting Allie on various drugs to slow down the labor. After 2 weeks, we got into this point where now what we were doing to control the labor was actually harming my wife.
So they had to take me off of the magnesium. About 24 hours later, my contractions started up again.
It was very clear that she was going into labor, and there was nothing we could do to slow it down at that point.
I remember my mom coming into the recovery room and telling her that things weren't going well.
At 29 weeks, any baby's going to have a challenge surviving.
Compounded with the fact that her body had to deal with the tumor was just too much. They wheeled me into the NICU where I got to see Sadie for the first time. It's really hard to sum up what it's like and what that moment was like. But she was just beautiful.
In the last moments, the chaos kind of subsides, and there's a very cold calm in the NICU.
They stopped doing CPR on her. They handed her to me to hold, and she passed away.
It was surprising how hard it was to leave the hospital. We kept on talking about a new normal in our life and having to define what normal is again.
There was something very physical about it as well. There was definitely a struggle in those months after she passed away of how we were going to remember her, how to be a parent to her.
There's parts of us that will never mend. There's always a part of me that's going to be sad. It's just the new normal. We went into our second pregnancy probably knowing too much.
Very overwhelming to think about loving another baby again and not knowing what the outcome was going to be. When Noelle was delivered, she had some trouble breathing. They were debating putting her on a ventilator or not. At one point, she just reached up her little hand and ripped the oxygen tube out of her nose. She just was better from there on out.
Tremendously relieving. It was a huge victory.
We tell our girls that there's a big sister, Angel Sadie, who watches over them.
You know, stories about their angel sister Sadie is part of their bedtime routine.
I really believe that she's there watching over us.
We looked for some way to reach out.
I really wanted to be part of an organization that had such strong roots and foundations in being able to help so many families on such different levels.
It was important to try to reach out. It's almost like trying to do something for Sadie as a parent.
Biggest connection coming through all that we did was just an empathy for other mothers and fathers who are scared and in a hospital, not knowing what's going to happen to their baby. And for these little amazing babies that are going through all of these procedures and fighting to survive.
Sadie's made us better parents, a stronger couple.
She taught me a lot of things. She taught me patience.
Sadie still impacts our lives every single day.
Become more accepting of things that don't go right and more appreciative of things that do go right.
I'm very grateful to have the opportunity to be a parent to 3 girls.
She taught us to really cherish every moment that we have with our kids. When I look at our family as a whole, I always think that even if she's not here physically, there's always a place for her here.
She's part of our family forever.